I'm so with you, and I'm so glad you bring it up, because it is such a big part, and it's something that I don't know how it happened in spirituality circles, this alignment thing, and it is really keeping people from moving forward again, because they're waiting for things to be aligned. It doesn't work like that. You're going to be waiting then, like, you know, you're going, unless you grab it by the balls and go for it, you know, otherwise.
Wild Rose! Wild Rose!
Welcome to the Road Ride. Let's move on to it.
Welcome to the Flower now.
Yay, it wasn't me.
Okay. Welcome to the Wild Roads podcast with Shona and Paula. Today we have these amazing guests called Shannon and Megan from the Aquarian Method. We are so excited to be talking to these two wonderful women that are twinsies like us. They are a twosome, like they're, you know, business partners, but one from Victoria, one from New South Wales, just like us. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you so much. We're so excited to be here. So excited. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. This is beautiful.
It's our first foursies. We're so excited for a foursome.
I love that. I can already feel how this is going to go. We're going to yeah, I love it.
It's going to be fun. All right, well, first we hit it off. Every episode we have hashtag awkward question time. Paula, you've got an amazing question.
I do have a question. I like to get close to my mic to ask the question to make it all serious.
I know, you sound so professional.
I do. Okay. So our question today is, if your soul had a theme song, what would it be?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like it. I think I've got mine already, so I can go, Shan.
Amazing.
Go for it, babe, go.
So I've got a really good knack. I'm a Taylor Swift fan, and I can really relate back almost anything in my life to Taylor Swift, or anything to do with Taylor Swift. So for me, and it's funny because I've been thinking about this lately. Are you guys Taylor Swift fans?
Yeah, I love her. Love her.
Okay. So do you know the song The Lakes, which was like a special song? It's just come out on like Folklore or Evermore.
Oh, no.
There's a song called The Lakes, and she talks about this really special spot where like poets and artists sort of, when they're retired, they go to sort of live out the rest of their lives, because it's got just such a beautiful aesthetic and vibe and that sort of thing. I like to think myself somewhat of a...
That's good.
So that's where I sort of want to end up, and my soul, it hits my soul, that song. So for me,
love it.
The Lakes by Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh, I love it.
See, I don't know a lot of the Tay, but Meg's been kind of hooking me up, so I'm getting better. I've been not forcing myself to listen, but I've been listening.
Yeah.
Mine is the only song that is coming to my head is Dance Magic Dance. You know that Bowie song that he sings in the Labyrinth?
Yes. I love that.
Actually, that's the only song. That and Angie by the Rolling Stones. They're the only songs that I've had in my head. I love Angie. It's such a good song. But yeah, I'm definitely probably more, which would be ironic. I've got, you know, Greedy Me, 2 songs.
That's so good. Well, I could list off 10, honestly.
I've got to go rogue. I can't just do the thing, can I?
Yeah. Well, for me, it's got to be, I think what's interesting, because I don't know if you guys like have your playlists on Spotify and stuff. You know how at the end of the year they tell you what your favorite song was, and you know, that sort of thing. Anyway, my daughter Indiana went through this the other day, mine. And she's like, oh my God, Mum, yours is exactly the same as 2020. It's like, I hadn't actually, I've obviously just listened to the same songs over and over. Anyway, so what came up the most listened songs? So let's just go with that. Evie, Part 3. So it's Stevie Wright, the actual old original version.
Oh, wow.
And it's part 3. And I can't, you just have a song that you're just never sick of. Like, I just cannot be sick of that song. And it always comes out when we're having a bit of a, because Simon and I, my partner, we on a Friday night, we'll just have a bevy and listen to some tunes because he's a muso. So that constant. So that's going to be my soul sister song. Yeah. What about yours, P?
Well, I think I took the brief a little differently than the rest of you guys. So like, I'm a big music person, and there's so many souls that like my soul connects to, and I'm like, yes. But I think if my soul was to have a theme song all on its own, it's got to be something cheesy, because like inside of like, I feel like at the heart of me, they're just like a kid that's just like doing cartwheels and doesn't give a care about anything. So for me, I was like, I really do think that if my soul had a theme song, it would be like Get Jiggy With It by Will Smith or something. It'd be like, na 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 na. Like, just that so matches your soul, man. So that is. I need to think about it. I need to think about that some more.
On the fly.
It is. Yeah.
My brain just goes, stop.
It's a good question.
It's a great question. My brain just goes, stop. I love it. Fun stuff. Music's the best. All right, girls, let's talk about your stuff. Thank you for coming on to this beautiful episode. All right, so the creators of the Aquarian Method, amazing name, tell us what it is.
Thank you for the name thing. Yeah, the Aquarian Method is something that we created. We can get into a little bit about why we created it, but just to talk a little bit about what the program itself is. It's manifestation, but even though that can be a little bit of a buzzword, maybe like we call it co-creating or something like that, like a manifestation program where we have a whole range of spiritual modalities that our participants use to help create their dream lives. So we go through ancestral healing and clearing, we go through past life healing and clearing, we go through the Akashic Records, and we have them change up their Akashic Records if they feel like they want to. We go pretty heavily in getting them to meet with and work with their spirit guides and angels. All these sort of what we call modalities that have been used up until this point really for like self-discovery and things like that. Now we're sort of taking them and using them in the next level. So how can we use them to our advantage and harness their energy to help with manifestation and stuff like that, which is the way that we wanted to approach it. And they get to learn all the things, all the modalities, so they take it with them as well. It's not like it's just a course where we're doing everything for you. We really get them to go deep into it, learn a whole new skill set, so they can walk away from the course knowing, you know, what to do, how to do it moving forward, which was really important to us as well.
That's cool. So basically they could learn it and take that with them, but can they use that to help their clients and things? Beautiful.
Absolutely.
It's really adaptable. Like there's no sort of one linear purpose for why you would go into it. It's very kind of unique and individual to the person that's participating, and we really wanted it to be that way. Again, like going back to why it's the Aquarium Method, is we sort of wanted to shift away from, we say, the Piscean way of doing things, where you kind of rely on other people to kind of give you perspective and to help your growth and help your healing in a more kind of one-on-one, like this is my advice to you kind of way, and shifting that over into a more self-participatory, I guess you could say, process where it's the same principles and perhaps methods, but you're doing it yourself.
Breaking down that barrier of like healer or reader, or because we're psychics as well, and that's a little bit about how it came about. So going from, you know, people coming to us and giving us all the power, we sort of saw this this not discrepancy, but we thought, but hang on, like people actually have that power themselves, but they were willing to give it away, or willing to go and pay all this money to other people to tell them something that they had the very knowledge within them themselves. So we really want to teach, you know, women from, or men from the ground up, that they actually have the ability to do all that themselves. They don't need to be giving their power away. It's actually always within you. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, we're really enjoying it. It's been a really nice experience, and we do work with so many different people. Like Shona was saying, some people do use it to go on and create their own programs, or use it in their own, with their own clients and things like that. So yeah, people can use it for whatever reason they want, really.
So can they choose, like, is it a like choose your own adventure type thing, or is it just a real, like it's a method that's just a wholesome package?
It's
a little of both, isn't it? Like,
it's a 6-week program. It's a 6-week program, and each week we tackle a different modality. So we start off by just really getting through like limiting beliefs and stuff, because if you are trying to manifest or co-create, you know, we work a lot with energy and understanding how any blocks in our body are going to sort of put a barrier up between what it is that you want and what you're calling in. So we work, every week we go through a different kind of modality, but then at the end, so it's a 6-week live container, but then at the end we've thrown in, we actually get them to do a Reiki 1 certification. Shannon's got a beautiful tarot course, like a learn to read tarot course that's in there, and we have another thing called Magical Roots, which is a foundation course of you know, auras or using your clairs and things like that. So it's really, I guess, holistic in that way, that there are lots of different things that they can get out of it to make sure that they're really feeling powerful. So cool.
I love in your bio it say about normalizing spirituality. And that was like, wow, you know what, I'm sensing that myself. I'm just like, because it's very, for me a year ago, I would be just a little bit standoffish. I love it, and I'd probably just do it in the background, and no one would even know that I'm learning and or doing these modalities and getting some healing done and all that sort of thing, because it'd be like, you know, the woo word that's, you know, out there. But it's just like, I feel like, I don't know whether I'll put myself in this world, in this ecosystem where it's so normal, but I can understand there's probably still people out there that feel like they want to be a part of this and learn and heal, but it's standoffish, and to normalize it. Tell me a bit how you guys feel about it, but also like how you are progressing and getting people to feel normal with this.
I suppose like it was really important for Megan and I. So we both, as Meg said, like come from a background of offering readings and going down that sort of path, and we loved that process and still do at times. But a big part of that was kind of stripping things back a little bit, and we realized that there can be a lot of fluff that isn't, it's not that it's unnecessary, but it's kind of like unnecessary.
Yes.
And so we, you know, just in our exchanges and the things that we would talk about, we realized, you know, we don't need all the fluff. You can really strip things right back raw and just be open about the process and open about co-creation and open about manifestation. Like, it doesn't have to be this big kind of light and airy fairy kind of, it can be, but it doesn't have to be. And it was really important for us that we worked with a process as well that we worked with, that we, like when we sort of approach our own spirituality, I suppose it's very back to basics. It's very just, it is what it is. We get in there, we do what we're doing, we have fun with it. And that was a big part of why we applied, excuse me, what we did to the program and how we did within the program, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, total sense.
Yeah, it was really important to us that people felt comfortable coming into our programs, and I think when we get on our social media and our Instagram and stuff and really do normalize it, like I show up and I talk about literally going into the Akashic Records, but then coming back down and making my kids their lunch boxes. Do you know, like that's the normal. We're both moms, we both just live a very, what you would say, you know, a normal life, but it just so happens that we're really tuned in with our spirituality. And it's funny, Shona, because I think a lot of people feel how you're feeling, and that's that shift that we're talking about out of the Piscean age and coming into the Aquarian age, where we are we're awake now as a collective, much more than we ever were. So it's really moving into that next level now of normalizing it, and that this is just a really normal part of people's lives. We hope.
I love learning about like the Akashic Records, because that to me was a very new term. I only really started hearing people talk about it probably within the last 12 months. Before that, I'd never really heard like what it is, and like
I actually don't know
what it is,
by the way.
Well, yeah, please dive into that, because I find it really interesting. And I've done a few like healing like sessions and things like that, and I've only really gotten into it over the past sort of 2 years. We're in 2021. Yeah, about 2 years. 2 years now. But yeah, it was like, explain to us what the Akashic Records are, because it's so interesting.
It's just funny. A lot of people that come into the course, that's their favorite week. So we call it like quantum shifting week, and that's the week we do the Akashic Records. We do like timeline work where we help you like collapse time to get into a different timeline, and everyone is so excited because there is something about the Akashic Records that is really, not that it's seductive, but people want to know about the Akashic Records. That's like their favorite thing to sort of do. And I agree. I feel like it's something that really is coming more mainstream just in the last 2 years or so. So I think that's again moving, because we're all moving together into this new age. But the Akashic Records are basically a library. And it is a library of every record pertaining to you, past, present, and future. So every breath you've ever taken, every step you've ever took, every word you've ever spoke are all stored at an energetic level. It's like an energetic imprint, I suppose, in this realm of Akasha, which is probably the highest realm you can get to. And yeah, I noticed you said that you had just sort of been getting into it. I don't know if you meant physically getting into the Akashic Records, because it can be quite a journey for some people to learn how to actually get up into the realm and then access the records and then read them. So it really is like you pull a book, like you were going to a library and you were asking for a particular book on a particular subject, and you would pull it out and you read it, and it's like all the information you could ever use is stored in them. So the way that we use them for our program is, a lot of people want to make more money, for example. That money is a very big one, and it's probably important to all of us. So we would guide them through a process of going up into the Akashic Records, getting their wealth contract or their wealth like book that they then go off and read, and they see what is written in this lifetime about their wealth. So maybe how much money they're going to make, or what they're going to do for a job. And then they have the opportunity to erase that and write, I want to make $5 million, like, and then put it back onto the shelf. A lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people are just happy to sort of breeze through it. But then we've got some really hardcore people that are like, no, fuck it. Like,
I'm going all in, like, give me all the money.
Myself included. Like I add the extra zeros every couple of months. So that's basically what they are. So that's the Akashic Records can be used for so many different reasons, and a lot of people do just use them for readings or for personal development and things like that. But in the game that we play, we use them for manifesting and helping you expand, go through a period of expansion by using them.
It's
For
so
what you're
fascinating. Like
Mhm.
I'm only just sort of diving into it. I haven't physically gone in and read any of mine. That sounds
Okay.
absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
But I know that it's not only this lifetime though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's all of your lifetimes.
Yeah.
And I've had past life readings done before. Sean and I both have by Kasha Burke, who's been on this show before. The episode with her is absolutely amazing. But it's so interesting because I also work with another woman, Annette Shepherd, who I do healings through. And between like working with those two women, there's been crossovers of like past life experiences. And I'm like, that there's no way that either of them would have known. And then it's like, and so it really blows my mind because I had what are they called? Like a karmic curse or something? Or a karmic contract that I had brought over. And like you do that from lifetime to lifetime as well. So it's so interesting that like sometimes you find that you're coming up against something and you're like, why is this keep happening? I don't understand what it is. Like what could possibly have caused this and blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it's like, well, it could be generational. It could also be past life stuff too.
Yeah.
But that's it. And that's why like we started getting into manifestation in the way of like the law of attraction of Bob Proctor and Abraham Hicks and stuff. We're interested in that, but it's exactly the same. We were coming up against a wall, and we know it's real. We know that this isn't some bullshit thing. It's real. So what did we need to tweak? And that's when we started learning about energy and like your karmic contracts and all your ancestral baggage and energy blocks in your body that you actually it's not like you're losing a battle, but if you're trying to manifest and it's not working, all these things play into it. And that's what we help everyone clear out and clean out so that we can get back into this sort of state where we're able to call it in. Because if you've got some karmic contract that says I'm going to be poor for the rest of my life, and you're like wanting to make $1 million and nothing's working out, you're swimming upstream. Is that the term?
Yeah, big time.
So it's all really interesting. And the past life crossover stuff we love too, because
it's so good.
We're so into past life.
The past life like even in the course, sorry Megs, I'm like jumping because as soon as it's like past life, I'm like
let me at it. She's in.
We've had so many moments, like you were saying, Paula, like with the crossovers and stuff, where participants have, gone up into the Akashic for different reasons and connected that with past life stuff, and then gone on with like been given specific information like dates and times and names. And then we have this process that we love to do where when you get that information, we're like, get on Google. What can you find out? Like connect the dots. And there's been so many times, like one of the girls that came through had that happen. She was given a date and there was all sorts of other connections, which I won't get too much into, but she went off and did a Google, and then we had a session, we had a chat, and I was like, there's more here. There's more that you need to know about this. And connected with the energy of that past life. And he was like, there's a diary, you'll find some writing about me, you'll get to know about me. So she went off and had a little bit more of a search, went to wonderful Google and found this past life person with the date, with the location, with all the stuff, and found his diary. So it was just nuts. Like, and it helped her not only with what it was that she was trying to manifest, but it also helped her with other areas of her life, because she had problems with flying and all this sort of stuff. And this person was a pilot and they'd had a accident and all this sort of stuff. So there was not just one linear thing as to how this could help her manifestations. It helped her on a deeper spiritual level as well in other areas of her life. So when it gets into that past life stuff, let me tell you, it's exciting.
It's so exciting. And especially like, because when I have my reading, I've had like 380 something past lives. I'm like, that's a lot of like stuff.
That's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
It's so, that's it. But we always say, anyone that comes through our course, one of our rules is, because you have had so many past lives, we really need when you work with us, you'll always get given one past life that's really important in this lifetime to sort of work through and heal and clear. And then we want you to heal and clear it and move on from it, because we have people that get so, it's again like that seductive sort of addictive thing about, they stop and then they start going through this past life and then that past life and then the next past life, and instead of moving into the future, they get stuck moving in the past, and you're never going to actually be able to go forward and create what it is that you're wanting to create when you're so stuck in the past. So it can be really hard, but you often need to release it and let go and stop telling that narrative or part of yourself, and start more stepping into the new narrative that where that isn't a part of. But a lot of people also don't want to do that. They want to, they're like, I can't let go of it. I'm actually not going to. And if that's their choice, that's fine, but they're not going to be able to move through that period of expansion in this lifetime anyway, if you keep moving through it. But you can get really you could spend this whole lifetime going through like all your other lives.
This is a thing. A thing. Where do you start? Where do you start? Because there's a lot of healing to be done. And like you said, lineage stuff as well. Like, what, and I guess this is your method, program is bringing it all together. So that's why it's moving forward.
Sorry, I keep speaking over.
No, you're right. Go. No, keep going.
This is why it's structured in the way that it is, because it's every week has a purpose and it keeps that focus. It keeps things on track. And it's all been designed very specifically to do that, so that it's, yes, sure, you've got the program forever. You can go and wander back through and go and access other past lives that are relevant to another purpose or intention. But for the process of working with us for the 6 weeks, we keep it focused. What it is it that you desire? What is it that you're here for? What do you want to show up for? Okay, that's your focus. So now move through the program with that same narrative, and you'll come out on the other side with a lot more perspective than when you started.
Do you have many people that just want to do this for 12 months with you? Because I could imagine there's a lot of work. There's a lot of lives.
A lot of work. We're so looking forward to a Christmas break.
But we do get a lot of people. We actually have a lot of people that come through and do it again. But again, you've got to be really mindful of like a codependency thing as well, which we're really trying to move away from, because our hope is that we've taught them so much that they can go off and really be in their power and really not need us as much as they think. A lot of people think that they need us. They're like, I can't go on, like I can't do it, but you really can. And that's what we want to be empowering towards,
giving the power back, taking it all back. That's the whole point.
That's so beautiful. I don't even know where to go with that, because I'm just blown away, because I think this is nice. I'm loving your structure, because I feel like sometimes I get overwhelmed for choice. Like which method, which modality do I go down, because I need this. And I know that I'm a bit of a personal development nerd, but more so a spirituality, easy for me to say, nerd at the moment.
Like when I try to say familiarity, I can't say it. And I always go to say it. I'm like, Paula, you can't say this word.
More familiar.
It's simple.
Here we go. See, always a workaround.
There is. The spiritual path, I'm actually I am really nerding out about it right now, and I just love it, and I definitely have found the growth within me knowing it was always there, but just pushing it aside for some business strategy stuff, you know, beforehand. But now it's just like, well, it's overtaking and it's here for a reason. But I do sometimes go, oh, who do I need to see next? Which one do I do first, you know? So I can imagine this is just like the most beautiful package, just to go, hey, let's just wrap this all up in a little, you know, in this bundle right now and set you on your way, so that you probably got a really good foundation, some good healing just to move forward and manifest. And manifesting, man, I would love to ask you, actually, manifesting can be a little bit of fluff in how people perceive it as well.
Yes.
And I would love
I think there's a lot of fluff.
A lot of
I would love to you guys to riff on that.
Yeah, well, and I think that I mean, I think when we talk about things like The Secret and we talk about who, like Abraham Hicks and stuff like that, I think they did a really good job at bringing to the forefront manifestation. Like, I know for a lot of us, that was the first time it had really hit on our radars. We were told about manifesting in such a massive collective way. Yeah, like when The Secret hit, everyone was like, ooh, like get me on that. And that's beautiful. But I think it misses the point of
energy and the work and the commitment behind it. It's not as simple as, and that's not to like dismiss anything.
No, of course not. Yeah.
But it's not just, oh, I want that, so I'm going to tell myself every day that I have that thing, and that's all that I have to do. We are very mindful of the fact that, yeah, sure, have the mindset, have the energy behind it, but you also have to take action. You have to take accountability. If you want something in your life, you have to go after it as much as you want it. And you can want until the cows come home, but the cows aren't going to come home unless you go call them that it's time to come and have something to eat. Like,
yes.
I love that analogy.
You've got to do something about it. And that's something that's a major part, would you say, Megs? Like, it's one of the biggest assets of the program is the fact that, yes, absolutely. And this is all real, and we'll show you it's real. We'll get up in the Akashic. You'll have those aha moments, as they say. You'll connect the physical dots with the metaphysical dots, so to speak. But at the same time, you also have to action the things and put energy behind yourself and back yourself.
That's the part that I think pisses people off the most when they come into the course, because I think they have been told, we talk to them about, you know, alignment and how that can really, people have this other buzzword about things being in alignment, and it's almost as if like something's just going to fall into your lap, and that's just not how it works. And people do get really pissed off because we're quite hard, like, what's your goal, and then what action steps do you have to take towards it? And a lot of the time people don't like taking action steps, or their ego holds them back, or they don't feel like they're good enough, or they're doing things that make them feel nervous and not aligned, so then they stop themselves from doing it. Or
they've watched The Secret 1,000 times and thinks that they can just meditate and say affirmations and
do a
vision rock in my pocket, and
carry
then
a
it comes
crystal
to me.
That stuff's all great. That stuff will all help your frequency. That stuff will all help you get you in that vibrational space. But it's not going to back you. The universe isn't going to back you and like boot you closer to the thing, because it's one thing to have the energy behind it, but you have to be proactive. There has to be some sort of
so layered.
There has to be
some uncomfortable too. I think that's where people go, oh, it mustn't be in alignment because it feels uncomfortable now. And I'm like, no, it's supposed to be uncomfortable. Like, that's actually the point.
That's
because you're growing into somebody who has it.
Yes,
and growing is not painless. It's like it's uncomfortable. It feels like stretching. It feels like going beyond.
I'm so with you, and I'm so glad you're bringing it up, because it is such a big part, and it's something that I don't know how it happened in spirituality circles, this alignment thing, and it is really keeping people from moving forward again, because they're waiting for things to be aligned, or they're waiting for like the
right moment.
set. Yeah,
Yes.
and it just doesn't work like that. You're going to be waiting then, like, you know, you're unless you grab it by the balls and go for it, you know, otherwise it's just it misses you. So
I feel like the term feel good vibes is also being taken to that fluffy extreme as well, because I catch myself out and I try not to say this. I'm like, does it feel good? Does it feel good? And I'm like, okay, it's supposed to feel good in the sense that it kind of like lights you up inside and makes you feel alive. And you're like, oh my God, this feels really good. But it's also supposed to push you outside your comfort zone. Whereas I think when people are like, oh, it has to feel good, like meaning it has to feel easy.
That's right.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Yes.
That's 100% the difference.
I was like, this is exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. And that's why it does make people really uncomfortable, because it's not easy. Like, you know, it's a journey. But what should be easy is the joy that journey gives you on the road to that manifestation.
That's right.
This feeling of expansion and wholeness with the world, and actually understanding where you fit in and how all these beautiful, you know, things are happening to you. Actually, at the end of the day, like, the manifestation itself, if it's a tangible object, is great, but your journey on the way is one of the
key
best things that you can have.
Yeah.
But we also teach, like, we don't want people to wash over or get so caught up in that positive mindset, because all that does is bury, say you have like a negative emotion or a negative experience, and you just automatically put a guard up and be like, oh shit, like I can't be going on what we call a spiral. And that's really important. Actually, we want you to go on the spiral, and we'll hold your hand through it, and let's spiral. And if you want to drink a bottle of wine,
we swear.
Drink a bottle of wine, listen to your sad song and cry, and it's all shit. And then when you wake up in the morning, we're going to burn a freaking bay leaf and we're going to release it, and it's going to be removed from your body, and then you're going to move forward. But it's no point not, like, you know, acknowledging that heavy emotion, because it is a part of you, and we don't want to just we don't want you just to be burying stuff. Like, life happens, and it's not always fantastic, but it's about not letting that bad moment become a part of your narrative. It's about not, you know, not believing that that's the person you are. It happens.
Or stopping the process, or stopping you.
Or it just gets heavy.
You can just,
we're just dragging these bag of stones along the way because we're not releasing anything, and it's just like we can keep going, but we're so tired and we're dragging stuff along, and it never goes away. No, if you don't, it just doesn't go away.
Drop the bags, it drops. And that's a choice that you make to drop them, you know. And then it's true. Like, you know, revisiting, well, who am I without the bag of rocks? You know, like, because a lot of the time that's so ingrained in people that it's really about rediscovering themselves without that heavy baggage, which is uncomfortable as well. So
it is. That's right.
That is. Process.
It is. Oh, I love it.
It's a big process. That's why it's 6 weeks.
Yes, and then some.
But it's 6
Sometimes
weeks.
It's a lifetime.
But it's 6 weeks to set you up to be able to continually do this as well. Right. It's not like after 6 weeks, I'm going to be set. I'm going to be like a multi-billionaire, and I won't have to think about anything again in my life. Like, life is supposed to be growth and evolution.
Yeah. And a lot of the stuff, like, we've been connected with some of the past participants, and a lot of the bigger stuff that's happened for some of those guys has come in the 6 months after. Like, there's been some really big turnarounds and big events. So it is a process, and it is something that you can take with you and will continue along with you.
Gorgeous.
Definitely.
So how did you guys meet? This is amazing, but I want to know how this all works. Like, you know, everyone's known sort of how Paula and I have been able to be a duo, but
everyone loves this. Like, we've actually never met. Like, not in person.
We've had COVID struggles, lockdown struggles.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be the biggest party when you do
it. We talk about it.
Listen, we talk about it all the time.
Because it's like when Sean and I first met. It's like, you know, it's somebody so well, and then you meet them in the reels, and it's kind of like this surreal moment of like, oh my God, but then next minute you're like straight in the deep and meaningful, and you're like, of course I'm sitting here with you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so interested in your guys' story as well about how you met, because it is such a unique situation, and to choose a business partner. And I guess you guys know how intimate that is. Like, you know, Shannon and I, apart from my family, Shannon and I talk probably like 10 times a day, if not more than that. You know, it's a really beautiful relationship that we've had. But so in terms of like manifesting and how it's funny how things work out, right? Like when I first started my business, I was like, that's it. This is going to be, you know, financially, I wanted my business to work. You know, I was doing all the things, I was taking all the action steps, and then I ran a giveaway. Like I probably had like 50 followers at the time, and I ran a giveaway for a free reading, and Shannon was the winner.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which I don't even remember.
Yeah, I mentioned it the other day, and she was like, "Oh fuck, I forgot."
Yeah, I didn't even remember. I'd forgotten all about it.
The universe set a brother up like that, you know, like really, that's awesome. And ever since then,
we just kept chatting and chatting and chatting, and then it just sort of was like, oh, you do the thing, and then it was like, you do the thing, and then when we would sort of have those conversations, we realized how, because we were both doing like healings and readings and stuff at the time, and we were just realizing, you know, through those exchanges and those experiences, how much in sync with what we were believing and what we'd come to realize and what we wanted for ourselves going forward was so just, it was just bang on. Like we were just so it would just sort of become this, well, let's do this, let's have a go. Like, why don't we take the thing that we keep talking about and actually do something with it?
And it's so fun, isn't it? Like just having that, you know, person to bounce off, to hold space for you, when, because we're not always at the same level at, you know, the same weeks, you know.
It's so funny, isn't it? Like it's usually like there's always this kind of
I couldn't do it without Shannon, and for that's exact reason. Like, yeah, it's just nice to have someone to be going through it with. And Shannon's got a really unique, when I was thinking about putting the program together and what we wanted, Shannon has a really unique skill set as well that I don't have. So Shannon's really amazing tarot reader, psychic, and a medium, and I'm not, you know, look, I'm quite good at you know, I'm not,
stop.
I've never been a medium, and I think we complement each other really well in our skill sets, so that we can give our clients a really well-rounded spiritual experience based on the things that really light us up and set us on fire. Don't set me on fire. Like,
your soul on fire.
My soul on fire.
Not your human body.
Yes. So that was important. That was important for us as well, that we
for sure
did cover a lot of ground in what we can do and what we can offer.
Because that's so beautiful, because this is what I've been learning, is like there's certain modalities that people resonate and get better results with than others because of like who they are and how it all works for them and how they see things. And so it's really beautiful to be able to because I know of people who have tried like one type of thing and they go, oh, it didn't work for me, like I'm not spiritual and I don't believe in that sort of thing. Whereas like if you can have experiences with different types of healing modalities and different ways of, you know, reading energy and all of those things, it's always really cool because it feels different for the person as well. Like I know that I've seen a few, like many people for many different types of things, and it feels different in the way that I receive it. But then, like I said, like it's so interesting when you get the crossovers and you're like, it's coming at me from a different way, from a different angle. And I'm seeing it from a whole different perspective because I've experienced it differently within my body, so to speak. So it's really cool that you're giving this whole, and helping people understand the different ones as well. So
Yeah.
what in the Aquarium Method, what are the different modalities that you do use?
A lot of it's energy work. A lot of it is visualization, but at the same time, nothing's kind of concrete or set in stone. Like we make it a point that it is very adaptive, and throughout each week we kind of give different ways that you can adapt the process the way that we sort of share it to yourself, because not everybody's a visual person. Not everybody will connect with a visual a mindset visualization or anything like that. So we do and see a lot of that plays into the fact that Megan has been a lecturer and has that kind of backing already and that understanding already that there is, not even from just a spiritual perspective of everybody connects in different ways, and everybody, some people like tarot, some people like energy, some people like Reiki, but also from a scholarly point of view, that's a word I can't say. You know,
the school, the learning of the stuff,
the things of the learn. Meigs has a great way of sort of being like, okay, well, not everybody's going to want to read this. Some people might want to listen to this. Some people might want to. So there's a lot of adaptability.
Lots of different techniques. And I suppose you're right, like Pauline, the way that people often feel like they've failed if it doesn't work out, and that's where they give up as well. And there is often just going to be one thing that resonates with you a lot more than something else, or something, we never use the word like gifts, because that insinuates that you have something special that someone else doesn't have, and we're all force energy, and we're all such beautiful, powerful forces that are equal. But there will be something that resonates with you more strongly than others, and I think that's a beautiful road to walk down and explore in depth, to see where that takes you, especially if it can help you help someone else, or someone can learn from you.
And it can be a confidence thing as well. Like a lot of people too, well, not a lot of people, but some people don't realize that there are other options, because they've gone to the one reader or they've gone to the one healer and they've only known it one particular way. They haven't explored other avenues for themselves. So that's why it's important for us as well to have options, and to have it's a linear process, but there's no sort of concrete way.
It hits differently from like person to person, from the facilitator as well. And I think a lot of people fear and just want to stick to the one because they fear what it could be, what the next thing is, if it's going to contradict, if it's going to make things a little bit messier, a bit more chaotic. So it's, I think for me, it was just being confident that what I'll receive is what I need. And it's just going to hit.
And also the way that it comes through you and you get confirmation of things too, like the way that you feel like, oh yeah, that's truth for me, can come through your senses like very differently from person to person as well. Like I know I get goosebumps when something's a confirmation, and for a while like I didn't know why I was getting goosebumps. Like I'm one of these people that people are like, oh, are you cold, you got goosebumps? I'm like, no, I just get them sometimes. Like
Just lucky.
But it is. And I've realized like when something hits for me, it's like I get goosebumps, and I only get them on one side of my body, which is like when I know, I'm like, oh yeah, that's like a huge confirmation for me.
We have in the program, there's a section where you connect with your spirit guides, and I do a channeling with my spirit guide Tempest, and he goes into explain that if something doesn't work, or if you feel like you're not receiving anything, like I'm a bit of a lazy girl and he's kind of the same way as much as a spirit guide can be, and he sort of puts it into perspective and just says, like, if something's not working for you, if you feel like there's something that you need to receive that you're not able to receive, ask to have it received in a different way. Just ask, just put it out there, and then you will, just by doing that, sort of I suppose your awareness in some way will be more receptive and open to looking at receiving something in a different way than what you have been.
Yeah.
Love
Because
that.
I often ask, when I ask a question, I often say, and be very clear. Because like I'm like one of those people that will be like, yeah, and like receiving signs, and then all of a sudden it smacks me in the face. I'm like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, you need to be really clear with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think that's really important. And we do teach the same thing. Like, you know, it's okay to be quite demanding and really specific and be like, just, you know, I expect this to happen and I expect this to work out. And signs are different for everyone. And they're so personal. You know, for some people it's feathers or rainbows or a certain bird, you know, it's just, it is really whatever you believe your version of truth to like, and it's so different for everyone. So Shannon and I are the same. Ours is like shivers, like a
I actually worked with a client and hers was feathers, and I've never had feathers. And when she contacted me and she's like, I really feel like I need to work with you, and we just started off having this conversation back and forth, and just before she would message me, I would see a feather, and she'd message me like literally a second later. I'm like, holy crap, I just saw a feather. And she's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, I never see feathers. What the hell's going on? She's like, feathers are my thing. And I'm like, oh, well, there you go.
Now
So cool. It's interesting stuff. Wow. This has been an amazing conversation. I love meeting you both. It's been, I don't know. I love it. It's just like, it's just lit me up. It makes me want to go now and go do some research and some stuff, you know, for spirituality, because I think it's something that not to be afraid of. It's for us. Yeah.
That's right. And so thank you so much for letting us come on and sort of give anyone that feels like maybe they're not spiritual, they can't do it, hopefully the confidence to, you don't have to be a certain way or be a certain kind of person or live in a certain area to be spiritual. Like it's in all of us. So
love it, girls.
And when are you running the Aquarian Method next? When is the next intake?
January 17 for the next start. Yeah, and we're really excited, and we're going to be nice and refreshed. So it's round to jump in, because we're going to, it's going to be really exciting.
What an amazing way to start a new year.
Yes.
We all need to like shake some stuff up and like shift some energy, I feel like.
Bang the drum.
Yes. Oh my God, 2022 angel numbers. I think it's going to be amazing. So what we'll do is we'll put your links in the show notes so people can find you for your Instagram or anything else that you send us, where they can find the Aquarian Method. Do you run it more than a couple of times a year, or what's the go?
Well, at the moment we run it maybe 4 or 5 times a year, but eventually we're looking to pare back and do maybe twice a year, but
beautiful. So there's an opportunity there if they miss out on the first one. That's cool. Excellent, girls. Well, have an amazing day. I'm not sure when this will be up, but hopefully have a beautiful break over the holidays with your families, and stay safe, stay well. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what you guys bring in the new year.
Thank you, guys. Definitely. And thank you for having on. And Merry Christmas. Who's excited?
Yes. Love it. Awesome, guys. Take it easy, and we'll be talking to you real soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Wow, Rose! Wow, Rose!
Wow.